What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers? If you're thinking of cool Russian stuff from World War II, you might think of stuff like our little PPSH-41 here. It's a very neat little submachine gun. It's a cool piece of history. But what if you wanted something a little bit bigger, something a little harder to obtain? Something kind of like a T-34. Let's talk about that. So we are here in the most magical place on Earth. Not Disneyland. We're here at the Drive Tanks Tank Barn, and we are taking a look at something I'm privileged to be able to touch. I just touched it, and that feels really good. This right here is a T-34. More specifically, this is a T-34-85. Now, the difference is that the T-34 was the original tank, and then later on, when they realized, hey, we probably need to up our armor because we would really like to be able to kill Panzers, they upgraded to an 85mm gun. So for those of you who don't know, the T-34 is a legendary Russian battle tank. Legendary for what? Kind of depends on who you ask, but this was mass produced, and this is what you saw in the Eastern Front in the tank battles against Nazi Germany during World War II. Fuck, this is cool. They did a really good job with this. I don't know who did the paint job here. I don't think it's original, but that would be really damn cool if it was. My Russian, and even worse, my Cyrillic, not that good. To what I thought it was for Stalin or something. I could make out Stalin there at the bottom, but somebody on Instagram quickly corrected me and they said it was Fist of Stalin, which is way cooler to imagine a bunch of panzers getting fisted by Stalin. Let's move to the front of the gun. But really quick, before we do that, let's take a minute and thank our sponsor. Hi, Future Brandon here. Tanks are cool. You know what else is cool? These 50s Russian tanker goggles that I got from Sportsman's Guide. Now this is pod racing. Sportsman's Guide is not only a huge supporter of the channel, but they are also a great place that you can go to if you want to LARP like a Soviet. They've got a lot of cool stuff, all from military surplus to modern camping gear. You can find their link in the pinned comment and in the description so you can have cool stuff like this old Russian helmet. So anyways, big thank you to Sportsman's Guide. Now, back to past me to tell you that we're moving to the front of the gun. So moving over to the front of the gun, like I had mentioned a little bit earlier, this is a T-34-85, which means this has the upgraded main gun. If you saw Fury, you know why they did that. Panzers had very thick armor, a lot of the tanks that this tank was going up against. The smaller main gun's probably not a really good idea, so they said they wanted something with a little bit more penetrating power, and by God, that looks like it has all the penetrating power one would ever need or want. So the original caliber on the T-34 is actually kind of a funny story. It shows the Russian dedication to 7.62, because instead of 7.62mm, it was 76.2mm, which just shows they were obsessed with that number. Either that, or that's just how metric to imperial conversion works. I like to think it's the former. Now, one thing that T-34 is well known for, or I should say one thing it's not well known for, is ergonomics. The Drive Tanks people, they don't pick favorites, of course. All of these are equally beloved tanks, but they hate this motherfucker. All right, so we're now in the main space of the T-34, which is blowing my mind because originally I think it had a tank crew of 3. So you have 2 seats down here, and I guess you have 1 guy back here. The T-34-85 had 4. I'm not sure what the 4th guy was for, but this is not a lot of space for 4 people, and honestly, I'm already hot as shit. Which is good because this was used in the Russian winter, where I don't think that was a problem. I think that was probably quite comfy. So this is the inside of a T-34. Don't know what I did to deserve this, but this is a lot of fun. Probably wouldn't have been a lot of fun if you had to spend several months here. This is where you'd have a lot of, I'd only imagine, very tight-knit comrades who spent several months basically in hell of very, very bitter cold battles of World War II in a less than technologically superior tank, just trying to survive. And that's just kind of neat. It's kind of cool. I don't know if this tank itself saw service, but tanks just like this, hundreds, thousands of tanks saw service just like this one. It's very cool. It's very neat to be inside. It's a weird feeling. I'm just kind of rambling on camera now, but this is surreal. All right, so I'm sitting here right now in the gunner's seat of a T-34, which, God, what a sentence. And we are looking right here on, I believe this is a DT, which is a Degtyaryov. I'm sorry, Russian words are very hard for people in America to pronounce because we are uncultured swine, whatever makes you Europeans feel better. But I really feel bad for mispronouncing his name, Degtyaryov. He was one of the prominent weapon developers of the time, and Kalashnikov mentions him quite a bit. He's a very, very big influence, and he's responsible for a lot of very cool weapon systems, like the DPMs, the DP-28s, and that right there, that is what we'd be looking at. That is so fucking cool. So this is a little swivel mount for the machine gun that is backing up the turret. Backing up the turret. It's a gun. It's a machine gun on a fucking tank, all right? So I'm now sitting in what I can only assume is the driver's seat. I have my driver's license. I do not have my tanking license, so I won't be driving this today. So, oh, it's hot as balls. This thing was definitely meant for Stalingrad, Leningrad, and not San Antonio, Texas. So this is very cool, and I wanted to take this moment to talk to you guys about why the T-34 is kind of special to me and why I think it should be special for you guys too if you're a big fan of the AK platform. This was the tank that Mikhail Kalashnikov served on. And maybe not this, it wasn't this tank specifically, but he served in a T-34. He talked about, in his book, that if you watch my Twitch streams, you know that we're reading together now. He talks about in his book how much safer they felt in the T-34 than they did outside, which, I mean, I really can't blame him. This thing is just a giant cast iron shrapnel blocker. So it's in his book, he talks about being in the Battle of Bryansk, which I know I'm probably not pronouncing that right, sorry, but he talks about being wounded, getting to the field hospital, and that's where he was able to take some time away from the front lines defending the motherland and being able to work on his designs, where he designed a submachine gun. That's where he was able to meet and work with a lot of other Russian weapon designers and really kind of perfect a few prototypes he was working about, the military trials and things, trying to create a weapon that could better defend his homeland. And that is where ultimately he designed the AK-47, the automatic Kalashnikov that was approved for military use in 1947. So in a roundabout way, if it wasn't for the tanks that I am sitting in right now, we probably would not have had the AK-47. And so that's why the T-34 holds a special place in my heart. Very cool. I wanted to share this with you guys because I think this is something that's really neat. I was really excited for the opportunity to hang out around this, and I wanted to share that with you guys. So, yeah. I'm just nerding out. This is all cool. I've been told all these switches and shit work. That's why I'm not touching any of them, because I will definitely fuck all of this up. So with that being said, let's get the fuck out of here before I die of heat stroke. So the really rad stuff like the T-34-85 and the DT machine guns and everything are only made possible by our friends over at Drive Tanks. So I just wanted to thank them one more time for allowing us to do this cool stuff. If you want to see more stuff from Drive Tanks, I have more content coming for you, so don't worry. I would also very much like to come back because this is the Neverland Ranch of Freedom and I don't want to fucking leave. But unfortunately, my friends, that is the end of the video, so I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. God, I've got a kill boner. So, this is pretty stuffy. This is actually pretty crazy. God, this is a big... That's a big bitch. Do a trick. My trick is manslaughter. Where's the fucking... Where's the loot? Where you cocksucker?
It was probably made for someone who had very little chin, if they were malnourished, or they were just Simohaya.
Here we go, Simohaya. Alright, ready? Alright. I forgot we were going that whole time. Alright.